All right, so here is Tim Walz. He is in Boston at a Firefighters union on his campaign trail here. So let's go ahead and hear what he has to say. Oh, got me with the music. Turn it off, right?
Morning.
There we go.
I know you got a lot of important business to get through this week, but I do want to say how grateful I am and what a privilege it is to stand in front of this group. Thank you, President Kelly. Thank you for every single day advocating for the 350,000 heroes that you represent with passion. And to General Secretary Treasurer Lima, thank you. This is an incredible leadership team. I got to use a point of personal privilege and a shout out to your 5th District VP from Bethel, Minnesota resident, Tom Thornburg. Tom, it's great to always see you.
We haven't heard from him in a while, actually.
And every delegate in this room representing your 350,000 of your membership. Look, you got busy jobs, you got families. You travel here to do the important work of understanding. I'll often have people tell me, look, I'm really not that into politics. My response to that is too damn bad. Politics is into you. And if you're not here advocating for that, if you're not here advocating for the messages, it's hard to get it done. So as a card-carrying member of my state teachers union, I feel very proud of that. I saw the other day I got attacked by the...
By who?
I got attacked by the Wall Street Journal for being richer than my disclosure says because I have 2 defined benefit pension plans.
Is he red and sweaty? Did he have a medium heat taco? I get it. From his video with Kamala where he was playing into the white guy card. Ooh, I can't have anything spicy. Oh no. God, that video was entirely cringe. The only way it would have been actually a good video if they had Kamala Harris come out with like a bucket of chicken just to match his energy. That would have been great.
Seems like that's a little different than Google stock that was handed to you, but that's what we did. So maybe a few more of us should be dues-paying members. But I can promise you this. When Vice President Harris and I win this election, we'll have your back just like you've had ours this entire time. And just as I've done as governor and just as the vice president has done, I look forward to working hand in hand with you to deliver for the locals back home because that's what really matters. But if you'd bear with me, it's a privilege to be in front of this group, but I have to say it's also personal. The Minnesotans know this, and some of you in this room might know. Last year, we lost one of our bravest firefighting heroes, and I personally lost a dear friend. Chris Parsons was fire chief, fire captain from St. Paul. He worked closely with us and was president of the Minnesota Professional Firefighters. Chris was 6'7", stood out in any crowd, but it's hard to imagine his personality was bigger than that 6'7".
I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I heard that Kamala Harris will only do an interview if Walz is with her. Really?
He was
I haven't heard of that.
Generous and kind and funny individual that I had ever met. One conversation with that guy would make your entire day better. Tragically, we lost Chris in the line of duty. It's kind of heartbreak that no family and no community should have to endure because every hero deserves to come home at the end of every shift. And know this, we see your noble courage. We're forever grateful to you for going above and beyond to keep all of us safe. And we're committed to building a future that you and your families deserve. As Minnesota's governor, I was proud to bolster resources for firefighter training.
So this is what you're probably talking about here. I'm going to move it over like that. It says, actually, it's from the BBC. So it says, why is Harris bringing Walz to her first major interview? And let's see what it actually has to say. 3 weeks ago, just days after being formally chosen as a Democratic presidential nominee, Harris was pressed on her plans for a sit-down interview. Yeah, we haven't seen anything about her doing an interview yet. It says, I've talked to my team, she told reporters on the airport tarmac in Detroit. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month. Why don't you just do one now? You've been around all these reporters. Why don't you just stop by and take questions? God, this stuff frustrates me so much. On Thursday night, Miss Harris will just barely make good on that promise, sitting down with CNN's Dana Bash. Okay, Thursday night. Okay, so that's tomorrow, right? What is today? Wednesday? Crap, I don't even know. Yeah, today's Wednesday. So tomorrow she's actually going to do her first interview. And I'm sure it's going to be a full on CNN goodness. But Miss Harris will not be there by herself. The vice president will be joined by her running mate, Tim Walz, which is weird. Why does she need Tim Walz there to do an interview? I don't get that. What's the point of that? I think it's incredibly weak sauce to show up with your running mate, said Scott Jennings. Like, she needs him to back her up in the interview. Doesn't that contradict everything they're trying to say about Kamala Harris, about how she's like this strong woman and she doesn't need this dude to help her? I don't know, man. I don't get this. This whole thing's stupid.
In education, to invest in the equipment and the facilities to keep you safe, and to sign the most comprehensive fighter well-being legislation in the nation. The resiliency to do this job is incredible. The physical toll it takes on your body, but the emotional toll and the time away from your family. We understand that, and putting the resources into it is absolutely critical. That's why I'm honored to be on a ticket with someone else who has long supported your essential work. As a native Californian, Vice President Harris knows explosive, dangerous, and unpredictable nature of wildfires in that state. She's been to the memorials, knows.
She needs him for a scapegoat? Yeah, he looks like a scapegoat. He looks like the fall guy for sure.
The depth of sacrifice that you and your families go through. In fact, it's a matter of family for her. The Vice President's brother-in-law, Andy Emhoff, spent his career as a firefighter in Santa Cruz, California, and retired as an IAFF member in good standing. And as California Attorney General, and as Frank can attest, Kamala Harris sued the big banks for mismanaging your state's pension fund. And when she won, she returned hundreds of millions of dollars to firefighters and other public workers and to their families. As vice president, she cast the deciding vote on the American Rescue Plan, which helped keep workers on the job. And I'll say this, it kept the public safe during the pandemic, and it let local fire departments hire, train, and retain more of the firefighters that we needed. And under her leadership, the administration gave much needed raises to more than 11,000 federal firefighters. When we're in office, we'll make sure you have all the resources and protections you need to do your jobs, and your service is respected, and that you come home safe every night. We know exactly who built this country. It's people like the folks in this room, firefighters, police officers, construction trades, teachers and nurses and veterans who contributed their contributions to our nations long after they got out of military service. It was you who built the middle class. And we know that when unions are strong, America's strong. Look, this is the time of year that talk is cheap. But that's why Vice President Harris is proudly part of the most pro-labor administration in history, unafraid to walk picket lines with workers demanding better pay and conditions. And that's why she rescued pensions of more than 1 million of our union sisters and brothers.
Did he hit a tanning bed? His eyes are really white. Yeah, he looks a little bit darker. He could have just been out in the sun, though. Didn't she want to replace cops with social workers? Yeah, that was her platform, but now she's against that. She's the flip-flopper, man. Flip-flopping on every issue. That's why I want her to actually put her plans on her website so she can't flip-flop anymore.
Workers and retirees, and insisted that prevailing wage jobs spring from federal investments. It's your construction brothers and sisters know that one. It's that same spirit that animated my fight for labor in Minnesota. As governor, I signed one of the biggest packages of pro-worker policies in history into law, making it easier for workers to form unions, strengthening worker protections, and banning captive audience meetings.
He looks red just around his mouth. Kind of like he was eating something spicy.
Today, Minnesota is one of the best states for workers in the nation. And guess what? It's one of the best states for business. You don't have to choose between protecting workers and protecting business. They go hand in hand. That's Vice President's and my vision for the entire country. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, they have something a little different in mind. The only thing these guys know about working people is how to take advantage of them, how to not pay them. Every single chance they've gotten, they've waged a war on workers and the ability to collectively bargain. When it comes to so-called right-to-work laws that deprive unions of funds they need, Donald Trump has said he supports right to work 100%. Everybody in this room knows right to work means right to work for less, right to work more dangerously, right to work for no pensions. It doesn't mean the ability to collectively bargain to fight with the dignity that work brings to each and every one of us.
Ketchup must have been too spicy for him today. Looks like it.
Look, I'll keep saying it. Words are cheap. Actions is all you should care about. Make sure you're counting on what was delivered. When Donald Trump was president, he blocked overtime benefits for millions of workers. He opposed efforts to raise the minimum wage, and he even proposed slashing budgets for federal fire service programs. Those are just simply facts. But look, it's not just what they've done, it's what they're gonna do. This is the big thing. One of the goals of their Project 2025 is to screw the middle class.
How about you put some policies on your website so people know actually what you want to do? You can criticize Trump all you want, say that he's doing all these bad things, but at least he's upfront and has his policies on his website. At least he's telling you what he wants to do, unlike you guys who want to hold all your secrets until you're elected.
Making it harder for workers to collectively bargain, allowing employers to drastically cut overtime or eliminate it, slash taxes for the ultra wealthy by imposing a national sales tax on the rest of us. Look, I've said this, I'm an old-time football coach. If you draw up a playbook, you plan on using it. All
right, where's your playbook? Come on, coach. Let us know what the plays are. Is your playbook just to bash him and say that he is part of Project 25? That's your plan? That's not going to work. That's not going to get you votes, man. There we are with the Project 2025 keyword. Exactly. He's just talking about Project 25. What about your plan? Not only does Trump have his own plan, but he's also got another plan. Apparently, he's got two plans before you got one plan.
2025 is a plan to reshape what America looks like, moving away from the middle class and putting it right back on the oligarchs and the wealthy at the top. He said he's going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That thing is pre-existing conditions. Those are things that make sure that our family gets health care. And for many of our families, and I know you don't get to participate in it, but your families do, my mom does, Social Security and Medicare are life-saving programs for them. Instead of funding those programs, they talk about cutting them. So here, this is what I always say. If you got $1 billion, you don't give a damn if your Social Security check shows up. But if you're like my mom, that's how you pay for your food. That's how you pay for your heat. That's how things get done. So that check, pretty damn important to protect it.
My God.
Again, use their own words. This is a guy who told his friends down at Mar-a-Lago, and this is a direct quote. Look, all of you're rich as hell. We're going to give you a tax cut, while telling workers that wages are too high. That says it all. And again, if you're confused on where you're going to go, think about what impacts you, your life, and your family the most. So let me tell you exactly what Vice President Harris and I will do when we...
Trump never said he wanted to cut Social Security. Yeah, I know. He never said he was a part of Project 25 either. He never said he wanted to cut Medicare or any of these programs that they're talking about. That's why these debates are so important. We need to actually have a debate. I believe it's supposed to take place on the 10th. And then when they pull out all of these lies, we can actually throw some witty comments about them, or Trump can during the debates, and deflect all the BS.
We get elected. As president, then President Harris will sign the PRO Act, making it easier for unions to organize. We'll protect Safer Grant program.
It's amazing how they can just lie. Yeah, especially in a time where everything is on video and people still believe it.
It's good to see you say this. If you have to spend any time thinking if you want to support the PRO Act, that pretty much tells you where you're at, because that's a pretty easy one. Same thing with the SAFER Grant program. We know it's essential to helping serve and protect communities, especially as we starting to see intensive heat waves. We'll keep fighting to protect your retirement benefits, lowering taxes for working families, and finally making corporations just pay their fair share. They're doing fine. They're doing fine. They can pay their fair share. And again, things like Social Security, things like the GI Bill, programs that make a difference, paid family and medical leave, affordable child care so you can go do your job. That just makes sure that families aren't just surviving and getting by, but they're thriving and getting ahead. I talked about that idea of defined benefit pension plans. They complained that I had 2 defined benefit pension plans.
Is he taking credit for the GI Bill? Because he's just rambling off all of these social programs that have existed for a long time. And not even the GI Bill. That's not even like a social program. That's for the military. But he's just rambling off all these programs. It really reminds me of that Family Guy episode where Lois is running for office and she just gets up there and says 9/11 and everybody just cheers. It's like NPCs. Like they're not even saying anything. They're just saying, "Ooh, GI Bill, let's go." Come on.
In 1960 or in 1980, 60% of people had defined benefit pension plans. The middle class was strong. Today, 4% have it, and they're trying to take those.
And he sounds like he's bragging. Yeah, but you can't claim the GI Bill, bro. Like, it doesn't work like that. Do you think we will go back to fighting in Afghanistan? God, I hope not. I hope we're done, man. I hope we already pulled out, even if it was really terrible. Are you going to be streaming the debate? Absolutely. The VP debates, the presidential debates, if they can finally agree to it, yes, I'm going to stream that shit because I think it's going to be hilarious. As soon as they start pulling off this Project 25 stuff, and Trump's going to shut them down. Them not having a plan is hurting them so much. You can't run for president and not have a plan. This is like a sitcom. How can people vote for you and you don't have a plan?
Goes away from us. You change the middle class by investing in the middle class. We're proud of the plan that we put forward.
What plan?
Again, Donald Trump trying to hide from that Project 2025 plan. They're going to use it. They're going to use it. It's written out. They know what's there. And look, they're not going to wait a few years to do it. They're going to get an opportunity to do it. So we know what it is. Donald Trump doesn't.
I don't know. Most white savior liberals don't seem to care about no plan. How could you not care? God, it kills me. How can you vote? I mean, it has to be they hate Trump. That's the only thing I can think of. They hate Trump. They are thoroughly convinced that he's a white supremacist and that they cannot vote for such evil. So they're going to go with the people who don't even have a plan for the country. That has to be it. That's the only way I can justify it.
Doesn't want to tell you what's in there. You can look for yourself. You can see what they're trying to do. They go on TV, they deny it, they say that he's not being treated fairly. These are their words. They put it on paper. They're telling you what they're going to do. Kamala Harris, she's ready to
vote blue no matter who. Stupid.
Hold him accountable on the debate stage.
How about no?
Tell me you're not looking forward to that. Look, I know you're busy. You're going to be watching Monday Night Football or something, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good because, again, as I said, this is going to impact you. The things that are said on that debate stage are going to impact your retirement. They're going to impact your kids' education. They're going to impact infrastructure. These are things that matter to us. So look, some of you in here, and I'm going to say this because I know we're bipartisan. Some of the gray hairs in here, I know what you're thinking. And I remember it too because it's my family. When Republicans used to talk about freedom, they meant it. They meant it. Not anymore. These guys over there, they want government to have the freedom to invade every corner of your life, from our union halls to our kids' schools, even our doctor's office. Vice President and I, we got a little bit different vision of this. We believe that you, not politicians, should be made free to make your own healthcare choices. We believe that workers deserve to collectively bargain for fair wages, safe working conditions, good healthcare, and secure retirement. No interference from government.
says the people who want to outlaw free speech. Absolutely.
As a union member, our union halls are the purest form of democracy. The opportunity to speak your mind, elect leadership, speak
your mind. Meanwhile, they are trying to censor everybody. Meanwhile, Biden's campaign was definitely trying to censor Meta. They literally came out 2 days ago with a memo saying that the Biden administration forced them into censorship. That's not your open town hall. That's not free speech. I don't know what they're trying to champion here.
What you want on your platform and then go advertise or go advocate for it. That's how democracy is supposed to work. These are folks that want to make it difficult to do that. Little things. We should be able to make sure that government is there to make sure that corporations have to keep our air and water clean. You can make money and still protect water and protect air. We believe that people should be free to get a good education that puts them into the middle class, not crippling debt for a lifetime. And we believe that our kids should be free to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in their halls. Now, I want to say something about this. I know guns. I'm a 24-year veteran. I'm a hunter. I was one of the best shots in Congress, and I got the trophies to prove it. I could outshoot them every year. But I'm not going to stand by and let someone say that this is about the Second Amendment when our first responsibility is protection of our kids. It is not a false choice. We can have and protect the Second Amendment and keep guns out of our schools that are killing our kids and do things right.
How are you going to do that? Oh, you won't tell us.
That stuff's common sense. Vice President Harris brings that to the White House. That's a future we can build together. We don't have to go to every damn family gathering and fight about things that we mostly agree.
24-year-old vet who only shot to qualify every year. And the security forces guys probably just pushed him along.
We don't have to find ways to divide us, and we can have legitimate policy discussions.
He's the guy that shot the other target that helped the other guy qualify down the range.
That differ on issues, but come to common goals. And on issues of labor rights, of middle class rights, of paying your fair share, of cutting taxes for the middle class, we're going to need you with us to win that fight. So I'd ask all of you, I am a former football coach, and I give halftime speeches all the time. But I do have to admit this. I know I'm in Red Sox country. Go Twins. So I'm going to try a baseball analogy, people, so bear with me.
Oh,
Game 7 of the World Series. We're down a couple runs, but we got the rally hats on. We got runners on base, and our heavy hitters are on deck.
I'm worried they will go back there next, pretending to save women, but making no money on war. Yeah, I don't think a war decision like actual boots on the ground would be very popular with the people here, especially when everybody's struggling to just get by and they're going to start another war. Yeah, they would need to have a major incident probably in America for something like that to happen. So look, I'm trying to watch this guy. I'm trying to give him a fair shot. Tim Walz, he's just not likable. He's not a likable guy. He tries so hard to be relatable. Oh, football. And it's like, bro, you seem sleazy. I don't like you.
You got the hometown going wild. Sisters and brothers in labor, it's time for you to step up to the plate. We've got 69 days to win this thing. 69 days to protect labor rights.
69 days and you still have not published your policies on what you want to do.
69 days to do things that we know people who have laid their life on the line, like Chris Parsons, to protect this as a public service and are simply asking to be treated fairly. That's what we get to do. On that 70th day, we wake up and know that the policies that positively impact you are going to become law. That's what we have to believe. So I'll tell you what, our hitters are coming up. It's you. This is a vision about the possibility of America. This is the vision about a positive America. This is a vision about what we can do.
I'd rather trust the excuse my teenager gives me for the dent in the car than what Walz says is true. Exactly. Like just listening to him, you're like, you immediately, like, your brain goes off like, oh, no, that's a lie. I've actually looked into this. I've done research. That's a lie. And he thinks people aren't going to catch that. It's just straight up just lying.
Together. And the reason that I feel so good is knowing that the heavy hitters in this room are coming up next is you know how to fight. That's all you know how to do. That's all you've had to do.
Now I'm going to appeal to you, right? You're just a fighter. You guys are the best, but you got to get out there and vote for me, right?
Every step of the way to improve this profession and to bring people into it.
Manipulation.
So as the next president of the United States always says, when we fight, we win. Thank you all.
What about the people who fight and they lose? Just saying. Like, what about the people, like, you fight, you're fighting, obviously two people, right, are fighting. One of them has to lose. I don't really get their analogy. When we fight, we win. What if you don't?